beginning of the year. When you realize that things are going south, it means that there are things you've not done right, okay? And I am here basically to continue with the CEO series. The CEO requested me to step in because he has a trip to Tanzania and Nairobi later, and you're continuing in the same series by the CEO. Though today you're not going to do them practically, you're not going to be the sales, but of course the discussion you're going to hold is going to be very, very interactive. My name is James. I've been doing network marketing for the last 9 years, and OQATA Wellness Solutions is my second and last company. You too? Yes. Very good. How many of us are hoping to do the business longer than 5 years? Let me see you by show of hands. Longer than 5 years? Very good. Longer than 10 years? Then let me see the tourists. You are here to see whether you work. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Is that the VIP section? Carol and your friends. Beatrice, is that the VIP section? I'm asking how many people are willing to do the business for 5 years and more? Very good. 10 years and more? Okay. You want to be there when they give you the second Villa award, not so? I want to see how many houses I can get from this company. I want to watch myself grow with the company. I want that by the time we shift from Budu House to OQATA Towers, I want to be there. I want to see that time when the problem will be parking space down there with cars, private number plates, our names on those cars. I want to see that time. And I'm ready to fight and we'll struggle and fight on until that time does what? Comes. You get the point? And I'm sure, believe you me, that time is going to come. Oh, yes. That time is going to come, but you can also choose to be one of those who are going to be part of that testimony, or you can choose to be one of those who are going to clap for the testimony, or you can choose to be one of those who are going to read about us in the magazines. Because be sure, believe you me, you're going to read about us one day. Yes. That is why I wake up every single day to do this business. Full-time, overtime, and extra time. I want to travel the country, go to different regions, and do very many OPPs. But when we were talking to the CEO recently with Mr. Hampson and Madame Dialia, we realized that there is something that is important that we have to basically change in the mode of doing business, and that is, it was the basis of the sales that we got. It was the basis of those series of trainings that we are having, because we have come to believe that the success of an MLM, the success of what? Our success as MLM professionals is going to come from how many? Hello, Beatrice, Afande, go for me that lady going out. That lady going out to meet it. Beatrice, call her to come and sit in the training. Call her. She's outside there. Call her to come and sit here. Even Shami, sit down. We know Muzomubi. I don't have to training. I'm full. Go manu wachize namba munana gwoli. Oh, uzofuka silver changu. James Somen. Hassan, baite basoma abana abo. Oba baje batusomese. Mbadde wa wamma? Where have I been? We are saying that the success, is she around or she has gone? You're not seeing her? Tell her to come and study. Look for her. These things you're talking about, they don't know them. Let me tell you what is happening right now. Do you know why? Let me give you an example. Let me tell you what is happening right now. It is not true that people now are not working hard. As a matter of fact, you people now are working harder than we used to work. But again, it is not true that people are having the big of the results they want. With a big hard work or with the more hard work you put in, people come here at 6:30 and leave at 9 after they are being chased. You get the point? You don't have time to drink a bottle of beer. We had that time. You don't have time to go on dates. We had that time. You don't have time to go and see your parents. We had that time. But the problem is, people are looking for the easy way. Tell them about easy way. Easy way of looking for the business. You get the point? People are more interested in numbers than people. Tell them about numbers. People are interested in numbers than people. So what happens is, you look for every means to get the numbers. But again, the more we get the numbers, we don't keep the people. We want to get them. We are not interested in people anymore. Someone comes to see a presentation, and after they have seen the presentation, because you're not interested in them, you even don't have the right pick-up lines to follow them up. You get the point? The business model is supposed to have how many activities? How many activity skills you're supposed to learn? How many? 7, but basically, let me say the first ones are 5. You prospecting and building a name list, you learning how to invite, you learning how to do what? Presentation, you learning how to do what? To close and do what? And follow up. Do you know what is happening right now? You know what is happening right now? All people, the only skill that people are mastering is this one. Calling people. Mugambe tandika emboozi. Or prospecting omuntu ozimba omukwano gwa namalala tebabisobola. The script is the same. Hey, how are you, James? You commented your number on our TikTok post. No background of relationship. No nothing. Osegede kubanga afunye simu alina abagenyi 10 omutima gumugamba yabitegeera nedda boy. Obikola bubi oli interested in numbers ate ogenda banoonya paka. Yensanga lwaki otunula mu network yo bwoti. Onoonya abantu abalina emyezi 6 n'okudda waki waggulu tebaliiyo naye ng'ate waliwo omwaka oguwedde. Kitegeeza muno you're not interested in people and they're also interested in you. Hello? Tubagamba ebintu bino mulowooza mubimanyi nnyo. Tebakya prospectinga. Ebirimu otandika emboozi n'omuntu ku restaurant ebyo babidduka. They're not confident to begin conversations. Oshagede ebirimu otandika emboozi n'omuntu ku church ebyo babidduka. Your church mates don't know what you do. You even fear to tell them what you're not confident enough to tell them that you're into MLM. You are operating a drug big operating a drug business. You get the point? Some of your friends don't know. People in your name list, people in your contact list don't know that you're doing MLM. You are shying away from the opportunity because wavaku TikTok na go for TikTok. What happens is we have the numbers because you can call them, and seemingly most of them come thinking that you have a job opportunity. Even when you don't specify that job, they still think that you. So they come with that. So they come. No kubechikopo, you close and use all the magical words and to start. But you invited how many? 8. But because the 2 have started, you think that the 6 are negative. Because you don't have the basis of following them up. Why? They are not your friends. You scammed them into a presentation. Yes, they came willingly because you posted an opportunity. Kati wajja ya alabanga wamufezefeze n'omuyingiza ki meeting. So waba kifulumye naawe tolina bidi tolina bigambo birabiddako kola ki following up. That is why it is rare that a person will come and sign up after 1 week of seeing the business ngate baite badipostinga. Kati mumanyi munna ali interested yo yatandikiddewo oba yo yakoze eki adipostinze. Kwanga gwosobola okubira essimu mbujangu omaleyo naye ate adipostinga obwongo bugamba ali negative naye lwaki gw'oli negative kubanga tewalina basis. You had no basis of connection after they've seen the presentation because you didn't actually prospect them. I don't know if I'm speaking sense. Do you want to do the business for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, and after 5 years you're still calling your first person? However motivated you are, if that time comes, you will quit still. Sorry. But it's also possible if you're going to operate with this kind of mode of business, in this kind of manner. The only skill you're mastering is this one. I saw the CEO last time train about inviting. What happened is we got the scripts. And after getting the scripts, then he said, now use those scripts. What happened? You saw people in the cells? What happened? People did not have any 5 people to call and apply the script on. So the problem was not even the words to say. The problem was people did not have people they have already prospected to apply the words on. In the evening still, they sat in corners and repeated the same script. Hello, how are you? James Sebugala, you commented on our TikTok post. That is all they know. Why? Collecting numbers is all they have mastered. But keeping the numbers is becoming a problem because we are not interested in people anymore. You know, today I get a big gamba. Sometimes we want to diagnose a problem without identifying where the problem came from. Why the CEO is going through this hustle of helping us learn how to invite? Because and you are judging all your business success on one OPP. It cannot happen. That you have come to work, imagine. The most important activity in a day is getting eyeballs. What? Eyeballs. Call them eyeballs onto the presentation. The most important activity in the day is kulaga bantu bintu amaso ameka agalabi byokolachi byolina. You understand? But imagine how we are judging we are basing all our business success on just one OPP that lasts only 1 hour. But why is that happening? It's because people did not do what? Prospect. So they have no other appointments in the evening, in the afternoon, or outside the office, and they are dodging those appointments because they cannot present. They cannot present. Like recently, we were going through the presentation. Even the CEO, he even went an extra mile and he gave out free presentation guides. Not so, to 28 people. I was around. But tell you what, that guide is 30,000. And I was looking at CEO labeling to give those who don't have guides. But even in the evening, when we were looking around, some people had even left the guides here. Am I lying? Because bala mutima bagamba tebetaga kubiyiga bo baloza bajayita abantu mu meeting buli mu bya futula. Kitalo oshegede baloza bajayita abantu mu meeting bikole ki byekole wabewa ina magic ayogere oshegede nze kugambye twogera nnyo twogera bulungi nnyo leero twogera bulungi we are speaking better now than we were speaking 8 years ago. Oshegede, we are training better now than we were training 8 years ago. But how come the teams of 8 years ago had better results than now? It is because seemingly there is a culture that we have adopted, which is not the real what? MLM progress. That book was given to you to learn how to present and use it. Commission yourself even before you do. Because this is not going to be important. You're talking about how to be what? How to master posture in the presentation. But tell you what? You bought a circle book, it is new. Or you even don't have it. You bought a circle book which you have not used for 1 month. After 2 days because tochikozesa. So even if you teach you posture in what? Presentation, we are wasting your time and ours as well. Okay, that can't work. So let's diagnose the problem from first principles. You go back and commission yourself to learn all the what? All the 5 core skills of MLM and practice them. Stop looking for shortcuts. I am not refusing you to get people from TikTok. Please get them because it's the mode. But I'm saying, after this person has come, can you cultivate them? Can you mother them well? And then they begin with their own market because that is the law of MLM. Omwana mupia, yasomera na mugongo, yasomera seta, azze yakatandika kati onakubaze ana omuguza TikTok account kubanga naye wamujje. Ekidako kimanyi ba hobby babalese. They have left their hobbies, they have left their acquaintances, they have left their friends at the university. They are now looking for the Israel because the business is not over legit. It is something you have to hide. So they even fear telling their friends about it. So they also hide behind what? TikTok and begin running posts right away. Before you know it, they said it's full of strangers. Ask yourself a question. Have you heard, who has read about the stories of the Dexter Yeagers? Those those families are up now, but those families from Amway and so. You can imagine those days, Mr. Hakim, there was no TikTok, there was no WhatsApp, there was no Facebook, because all those applications are new, right? That simply means the network marketing of then was even something of communal, because I'm thinking you could not even invite someone from Mbarara, otherwise you have to write them a letter. I think Yantu said after OPP Yagwada, non so. That means people could go around themselves, door prospecting around their communities, not so around there. I think that is how they used to build teams. But surprisingly, we live in that time when the university, when the world was not one global village, still people were making big amounts of money from network marketing. Now check how we have lowered down network marketing to just schemes of waking up in the morning to get house rent and go back home. People who joined with dreams of building up mansions. People joined with dreams of writing checks of 100 million per month. katumanyide embeera kankuba ekikopo pipeline akoze atya oyo gendo yongera omunyigi akoze atya asudeko emitwalo 10 akyayinira ku mobile money bintu bifuuse byakyaye byakifere oshagede fe amaanyi ago gemuteeka ku bantu tetwagabasaako naye kubanga kyali kyangu nnyo no obbi wange namuyise maama we namugamba byakifere akimanyi ayakimugambye obbi we basoma bonna St. Mary's emyaka emeka 2 twatulanga mu seero nga seero eringa communal eringa another get together because me and my two OBs from St. Mary's, one of our OBs was from maybe Seta in O level, Nabaseta Basatu, and one of those ones has some campus friends. So the Mulabanga said, Nenga, now, even if a friend of theirs out there tells them the business will not work, they cannot believe them because they are doing the business with typically friends who they have known for the last 2 years. These days, someone pays and you call them and they don't pick up your phone again. Alabanga mufeze kati wafuluma does asasudde alabanga kibuuseemu obukwera kyakwata they join and quit, interested in numbers not people. Byembagamba mubitegeera byenjogera ge mazima oba nnimba mazima gennyini muddeeyo tukole MLM kyangu nnyo omuntu osigala ng'obadde newajjanga stranger mulage omukwano gucultivating gukule akwesige yesiga okubikwa name list ye mikwano gy'abaaki everyone can become a champion. Ekitegeedde katwesoma biki mastering what? That means before you even talk about mastering posture and presentation, go back and judge yourself and mark yourself. 1, do you have the presentation guide? That is 1. Sales leaders, the CEO series are ending this week. We are now going to go back to our, you know what? Sales of our teams. Sales leaders, I want to implore you that before people sit for what? For sale, check the tools. Otherwise, you shall have been wasting time. Do they have the name list? Is it growing? Take out a column and akasemba yo. Akaliko remarks, nkaitaka remarks. Akaina kumamu, the relationship this person has with the person they have written. Is it their OB? Did they meet them when they're going home in a taxi? I wonder how people shut up in, most of you use taxis, I know. Someone dresses up and they're smart, they shut up from Boyogere, they come here, then they hide behind TikTok. Oshegede, oyo muntu akola ekintu ekyo. Yes, ayinza okuba ayingiza abantu. Naye abatalina maso kusigala mu business myaka 3. Nimbye Mr. Jonathan. Omuntu asirika mu taxi gakola MLM n'atamunyega. Hello, how are you? My name is Are you a banker? You're so smart, you look like a banker. Okay, give me your number. We shall continue and we shall interact more. Hello, James. This is Oscar. You met in the taxi in the morning. Did you reach work well? By the way, I didn't ask what you do. Okay, wonderful. No bango ozimbi embozi. It looks like it is a lot of work and it is taking longer, but tell you what, it is more stable. Even that you think is not taking longer is also not fast because the results are still slow. Mufune ku TikTok omuzimbe ozimbe omukwano ogo akuwe wo market ye kyangunya atula musewo nga bemanyi era balwaoko musinga ne mutax standike emboozi agenda okujja nga toyina kukozesa bigambo bingi omukola kyo mutuuza because amanyi it's not the first time encounter. This OPP is not really for first time encounters. OPP nga abantu bonna ng'omuntu azze the first time you have met is the OPP. It's not a job interview. Those things happen in job interviews. Other job interviews and nakuzino. Go get a job interview, tell you connecting, tell you money. You are sure not to get the job. What about networking? This could be a meeting for second time encounters. People that have met, you have seen before, another exposure. How many people are meeting the person who invited them for the very first time? And it's 95% of the people. That is why from 100 guests, we only have 2 instant sign-ups. By the time when we were doing big OPPs and everyone was known to the other, after the meeting, it goes, excuse me everyone, this one, excuse me everyone, excuse me everyone. Everyone is beginning because they know who they are beginning with. business tukisademu obufere bungi. Ate twatugamba ekintu ky'emyaka 10 kuwangala myaka 2 tuli kafu ge mazima. Oshagedde ge mazima. Oshagedde. Enzo okumbuza oyogeranga nate wali buzibu. Jukira nzeze apply niwo. Oshagedde. Wonyize code yemu nze nga matchinga. Wonyize ndala nga matchinga. Yes, nankola code 5 onaku. It's not out of money, that is how much. Talo nga 25. Yemtala 25, sicho? I mean, it's more money. Na ye katenze zifunye. Naye ate gwe. Gokoze pede mu ategeze ku strong leg. Kale yinzo gamba tekyetaagisa binga tebetaagisa no whatever the case. Ne kati nze wemba mbala gwe. Bien kugamba bina kuyambako naye kufuna bwobala. Wemba mbala gwe gobalani. Bino bien kugamba bibyo kwabo okubala. Cheged. Numbers are very important, but let's be more interested in what? People. These words seem to look the same, but not the same. And I've tried to explain. Your appliance in the sales may tell you otherwise. But that is the gospel truth. You're also free to take what I have said or not, but it's very important. So appliance in the sales, supervise the tools. Are you together? Supervise the presentation guide. Everyone must have it. Supervise the circle book. If you are going to award, then award who is using the what? The circle book. What's the get there? Sometimes when you over-award people of their responsibility, they get what? They get what? They get lazy. What's the get there? Abantu tumala obudde bungi nga tubasomesa obuvunaanyizibwa bwabwe obukola okusinga okuwa abantu obuki obulabolabo because bakoze obuki obuvunaanyizibwa bwe n'okola ki okukola nakirabako nakisomako mu katabo and I took it for granted, but it also was affecting me at home. This man said that one day the village chief realized there were very many cobras on the village. Waliwo emisota mingi ku kyalo ekyaliwo kimanyi. This guy, the village chief, hired the people of the village and he put an appeasement and told them, every cobra that you kill, you bring it to the what? Village LC1 office and we pay you. So people killed the cobras, took them and they were paid. Killed the cobras, took them and they were paid. Not so. It was all doing okay at first because it was working. But again, people realized there were no more cobras to do what? Hello, there are no more cobras to do what? To kill and take the village chief. What did they resort to? Can you guess, Papa, what they did? Can you guess? Yes, tell me what do you think they did? No, they didn't hunt from other outside forests. That is even better. They began to do what? To rear the cobras themselves. They began to rear cobras. So basically, it became, instead of solving a problem, it became a money-making venture. Why? Because the village chief went ahead to begin to appease people of what could have been their sole responsibility. Otherwise, okategedde akantu ako kakitu affectinga nti singa tuzimbe ttiimu nga omuntu akimanyi nti okola kino obuvunaanyizibwa ki. If an incentive comes, let it come, but then let it find them in motion. Otegedde sakobuko bagikozesa etambula. When we began MLM, it was compulsory that you buy a book on Monday and by Friday you present it in deco. This Kosako book is what you use to train a team. When you're training a team one-on-one, what do? You are scribbling down something on your business or kit launch on your point C, BVBABT, CVBABT. Oshegede volume bamalabatia. How does someone become a what? A brass. How does someone become a bronze? How do you get about how much someone? How do they calculate the brass profit? Omuntu ategere akola business ya futula. I've seen people who get ranks and then after getting ranks they realize, okay, rank ajifunye na ye ainabe yasula so rank atemugasa lwaki teri yamukolera teri yamunyonyola even not we explain all that as we scroll down in the circle book. So a circle book can tell you how many kit launches someone has done, how many member trainings, one-on-one trainings he has done, how many presentations he has done, and they're predictable. You get the point? Charging a chango kola to duplicating that way. Right now, omuntu amanyo kola one-on-one abelo muselo. Emyake na. Nenga atakojo kali mu. How many eyeballs in your team look at the presentation every day? How many eyeballs? We don't care who has made them look. Oshegede. Ani against na presentation. Woman do yakoze presentation. Agama sabili. Nefred na akola agama sabili. We want very many people out there who are making many people look at the presentation. That is where the money is. Oshegede. But then we have one OPP and it is full of what? 95% what? 95%, 98% strangers. Who see? Because I am Mrs. Mkwanogwe, that is why negativity right now spreads faster than the success stories. So we are saying, after having learned how to present yesterday in the practical class by the CEO, we also came to realize that now it is important that after knowing what to say on whatever page, it's now important to master what? Posture. And what is posture? What is posture? We call it your state of composure. You get the point? Both physically and what? And mentally. You understand? Of course, it comes around with your confidence and self-belief in what? In whatever you are saying. That is what you call posture. And the slides are very simple. That we are going to rush through them, and I promise by 10 we shall be done with this class. What I said in the first place was more important than even this training. Hope you can adhere to what I said. We are really going to change so much. Yeah? Why posture matters? One, it does what? It's first impression. It's first impression that influences what? Trust and credibility. There is a saying that says, there is no what? There is no what? Second chance of first impression. You get the point? The way someone perceives you at a glance is what will determine your long-term what? Relationship with them eventually. You get the point? Then good posture shows confidence and authority. That one, you know. The body stance communicates passion, professionalism. That one, you know. Strong posture makes your message more convincing. Poor posture creates doubt in the prospect. And we're going to look at what poor posture is and what of you. And also, positive posture encourages engagement and what? And openness. So that is why posture in presentation matters. These ones are easy and English statements for you to what? To read and understand. So you don't waste much time there. It is very important that when you're communicating to somebody, they perceive you as what? As professional. Yeah? Have you seen some scholars of public speaking and then someone, because posture varies from whatever you're doing on that stage, on that platform, right? If you're a musician and then you are this and then you come over stage and then you are in one position like this and you are singing, for example, to music that is like that of Bebe Cool. You get the point? People will say, Omimbi yakozechi. Omimbi yakozechi? Yatuboyesu chidi. But again, if you come again with the Afrigo word, Afrigo kind of music and version, and then you are still jumping up and about like Bebe Cool, we shall still say Omimbi yakozechi. Yatuboyesu chidi. Lifena. If you are that kind of speaker that is speaking to audiences for business presentation, and then you are jumping up and about, up and what? And about, you get you make the audiences let me tell you, Goringa, they say Omsaja Kozechi Abadechi. You know, you put a negative connotation to that people's mind. But again, if you are a pastor or a preacher that is calling down the Holy Spirit, that kind of intervention, and then you are standing or speaking like Mingo, or they will say, Pastor Moyaga Nyokolachi, Okuka. This kind of movement is what the pastors will use to call down the Holy Spirit and convince him to calm down. Not so. But again, you can't be composed in a business manner. I think now you're running around like what? So it's always very important to know which kind of address which kind of audience you're addressing for which cause. Over examples about them will be good. Ntibe neme no muto so bikola. Neyo bikole dewa, ubikole dewa. When you were in poetry, it was just about make the eyes, the hands, and whatever move. You get the point. So it's about how systematic and cautiously you can rhyme with a few words. You get the point at the end. And then you don't even have to move around. But then we were now those speech days. Yeah, there were those kinds of movements were supposed to make on this. Remember those kinds of movements? All that is posture to match the kind of occasion or the kind of audience that you are delivering to. So even before talk about posture, it communicates, the body stance communicates professionalism in what you are doing. But in this kind of case, you're not talking about music or poetry, you're talking about what? Business. You get the point? Engage you to demo no muntu. Namukolachi? Namugezezeganya. Waliwo omukyala ngono wajjotula n'omwami, and then the mwami will think that this girl has dubious intentions, or she wants to use her beauty, or maybe, you get the point, what she looks like to pick money from what? From him, even when she intends to do a good presentation. Yet there also can be a professional talk, a professional a professional sitting where the man will know that it is serious what? Serious business. You get the point? So this kind of this posture is what communicates that kind of what? Professionalism. It also makes your message strong and convincing. I gave an example of the Holy Spirit coming down and then the Afrigo band singers. So it really depends on how you compose yourself. But again, you're saying ideal posture while presenting is what we're talking about here. Very important. One, we do what? We stand tall with what? Shoulders relaxed. Organ tool upright. Now yes, say, well, can I get a chair? Please, can I have a switch? Thank you. Thank you so much. Then you're doing a presentation, but also as we like no about today one katingo mulaga. Olinga atabidi, because it's not even that important. You get the point? The guy is saying, be very what? Very upright. He's talking about doing what? Keeping the head upright and to avoid what? Slouching. What is slouching? An English scholar? That be not joko. Slouching. Mogose Google nange sikamani. Maintain, look up for that. Maintain open body what? Open body language. Avoid crossed arms and what? And legs. You can't be showing on one. Now go present and go kozechi. You get the point. You get the point. But even when you're in my discussion, I'm doing one-on-one, and then you sit that way and no salako, I don't continue with the presentation. You get the point? But again, I ask you to do what? To sit upright. But again, before I ask you to sit upright, I must have already qualified to ask you. What should I get there? When kusaba otulebulungi ngasa qualifying already with my presentation, with the way I compose myself, you may refuse to do what? To obey. But even if you obeyed, you may stop following. So either way, even before you command the presentation, you must be worth commanding the presentation. Maintain both foot firmly on the what? On the ground. Don't sit cross-legged. Don't put up what? You are removing all these signs, all these pursuing the shoes and whatever. All these are signs of not being what? Confident. You get the point? You're presenting a multi-billion business wherever you are. Act like it is. Use balance what? A balanced stance. Not leaning too much. I gave a demonstration of leaning too much. You understand? Not again. No longer the space is all yours. You understand? Keep movements calm and what? And controllable. If you're going to make any movements anyway. Talk about now this public presentation. Someone is given a microphone to give a testimony, and 1 second they are this side, 1 second they are this side. And the problem is, when you are doing these kinds of trainings and coaching classes, they are not there. And now if they're not there, they're going to find themselves again running up and what? And down. And then the audience that was in my class is going to look at them and mark them. All I was with you. Abaye nyaku stage tebali katalimu. Kate agenda kudama kolechi adukenga abulire enjiri. Kata abadde ku stage batangogamba abadde opipa mu training bagambe Mr. James yagambe ekyo kifu. Ate nga tasobola mugambako. That is why we don't improve. I want it to be everyone's responsibility. If someone comes from the stage and there is something you know they have done what? Wrong. Call them and correct them. Yeah. Call them and correct them because now they are the 3 and the 30. Now they will call them to stage, but they will be at the stage and begin biting their nails because they're not in the what? In the training. Call them and tell them. Me always call them. If I see you, I called you. Have you called someone before? Jango mu office yango maliriza. Jango togere mu office yango. Wano okoze boti, bino wakoze boti, wano ogedde bubi wano kola boti. I always keep them, so we can all keep improving. So you master these. This is the ideal posture while doing what? While presenting. We're also saying body language and gestures. Use of body language and gestures. They're saying use hands. Yeah, use hand gestures naturally to emphasize points. Hand gestures. Mr. It's a hand gesture. You are doing what? You are saying you are demonstrating. Which one is that one? Show us. Putting emphasis on what? On something. Doing one-on-one, use the emphasis. Use that pen to repoint. That is why the circle book is important. People think that when you have the presentation guide, you don't use a circle book. Omuntu ombuuza apply one-on-one unjimaze. Chekwa ngamba leta circle book yo. Kubanga circle book unze yendaga choyogedde nchatoyogedde. In presentation, we have a belief that where the pen moves, the mind does what? Follows. In presentation, we write almost everything not because we don't know, but because we want the mind of this prospect to do what? To follow. Even the name, the company is called OQATA WELLNESS Solutions. Yes, in Chimaza magazine as proof, but again, I'm almost doing what? Writing the whole word still in OQATA in the presentation. Get the point? Katibidio bidabye, one-on-one, what is saying, one. If you want to see what a Chinese is a business, one-on-one, what emphasis, hand gestures. Some speakers come to stage and say, they are presenting the business, hello everyone, and then their hands are just, pointing at the screen and doing what? Going back to the position normal. These hands of, give the presentation what? Vibe and points of what? Of emphasis, very important. Maintain appropriate eye contact with your prospects. Every single time you are, you are doing one-on-one, I tell you guys who, then the person looks at you. Like this. And they're listening. To the paper where you're writing. That's why it's important sometimes. When you get where you're writing, what happens is his eyes sometimes will leave your face to what you are writing. Now, if you don't have where you're writing, what will he do? To show that he's paying attention, he will do what? Look at you. But because you're a shy person, you begin pretending like you're looking aside like something. No man ngolinga na chiononya. Omuntu goyaga ali wano naye otunudde eno ate okyayogera. If there is something you're looking for from this side, then first pause the talk, look at what you want to look at, then come back and focus on the prospect. You understand? Eye contact. Eye contact demonstrates confidence. If it's who is going to blink first, let them do the blinking what? Fast. Don't be the one who shies away. Fast. If it's an OPP presentation, have the confidence to look at your audience. Because it gives them a thinking that onomani byakolachi byayogera byekakasa. Na ye audience ekomao. Then someone fears to accept that he's looking the other side. If the audience is that big, you can look that far. Because someone may know that you're focusing on those people out behind there. The audience come on and someone is, is at the other window, and then you're talking. It demonstrates lack of confidence. People think you're not sure of what you are saying. And that's what makes the difference between the presentations, because the facts are always the same. And the facts just do what? Just tell. But how you tell them, how you tell those facts is what determines whether or not a presentation is what? Good. Smile genuinely and build rapport. Very, very important. Even those who invite cold market prospects, before you dump them into the presentation, it is not about friends. People invite in cold market. It is not about picking a guest, briefing them and setting them in. No. You are dodging the most important bit of the cycle, that is building rapport. Omuntu wamujje ku TikTok. Osobola kwefulanga gw'ogaba emirimu gya wano, n'ogamba, hey, welcome, thank you for coming. Now, you're going to have a presentation, you're going to sit. But again, yes, you are dodging the work. They will sit. But remember, that is the only time you have to talk to them. Otherwise, you're even not going to appear on stage. We manze mulese, so omuntu uzane ngambi bisigadde bajja kumpita nkulozinge ajja kumpulira. You understand? Because if you have a guest and they're in the audience and you're presenting, sometimes they feel special that the one that is closing is the one that invited them, right? But now, if it's your first encounter, but to many of you again, it becomes your last encounter with the guest. Olumutuuzamu, ampresentinga abamulala, ne mu closing circle tona qualifyinga, era omutuuza mu circle ayogera abamulala. So mugenda okukola ki? Ogenda omusibula nga temwogedde wadde statement eziwera emmeka 10. Ate ng'olina okukola essimu omufollowing. That is why some of you, even it is your upline following up for you. Of course, the code will come. Numbers. But how long? Check it. Be a good conversationist. Know the kind of person that you have invited. It will even ease when you close the circle later. Are they a student? Are they even looking for a job? Or they have what they're doing? They're looking for what? Business presentation. Did they understand your invitation? Or you have to first redo the invitation. Because you did not rectify the invitation. It's not about what they understood. The question is, by the time they sit in the presentation, do they now understand why they are sitting? Or they are still sitting but waiting for a job interview? Mubayina abageni. So ebisho. Babitegedde bubi, bategedde mirimu, ate bakyatwalesa omulesa atulenga akyalowooza nti waliwo mirimu. Ovunaanyizibwa okwogera naye ne mukola ki? Ne mukkaanya, ne mukwatagana, n'akwesiga. Make matters interesting, or even better, I don't know, brought the concept that when you invite a guest, you sit at the back and the guest sits at the front. Be full. Copy what she does. Copy from her. No wonder she signs big packages and she signs people. Copy from her. It's okay. You can't, she doesn't sit at the back. What does she do? Where does she sit? Who knows where she sits? There, with her guests. Oyina omugenyi omudampinze, total stranger, omujja ku TikTok, omudampinze, oyina omu, ate ogenze waki? Sometimes your guests come early. Sit, there are 3, sit with them, more so in the middle of them, but ule wakati. Chobo kolo chimanyi, it's just 1 hour. Pay more attention than them. Clap louder than them. Respond and nod your head more than them. Give them a vibe to ride on. Oli ku simu yo, tokuba ngalo, tomanyi na kwogera, ne mala nkukwata ne gamba jangu mu maaso oyogere. Byakulema. Olowooza obimanyi because obadde wano emyezi 4. Olina kubanga naawe oyiga. Ensonga lwaki otudde eyo nga Zaki ali ku stage. Ensonga lwaki otuula eri nga tebannakuyita mu maaso. Nga tebannakuyita mu maaso, oba tonnamanya. Oshagedde? Naawe wadde oli mu maaso nga bakuyita mu maaso, osobola okuddamu n'okola ki? N'oyongeramu. There are many people that are here speaking, and some of the words they speak are mine. Oshagedde? It's a good thing because they sat in the meeting and they copied from a presenter who they mirrored, not so. Then you're outside. When will you mirror your own presenter? Are we together? Mugenda gamba nsomeseza nnyo waliwo abantu ope wa CEO simanya biki. Kale. Avoid fidgeting with objects. Presenting and then you're biting the pen. You are biting the nails. Someone is asking questions. Now you are folding a paper. You are tearing it. You've seen those kinds of people? What do you gather? You understand? Those kinds of people, that is fidgeting with objects. Lack of confidence. Use nodding to show attentiveness. Because there's non-verbal cues of communication. Very important. Mirror your prospect's body what? Body language. Because his body language can show you the level of interest in the business. It can show you which kind of questions to ask and where to put more emphasis. Nekanga. No manya kati ono premium. Si bintu bye. You can know. Ogola banga alinga akoye. No manya kati ogenda ate mbino simanya what? What is that? Is other ways of earning? Binary check match. That is used to the time. You know, going now, it's limited time. You know, you have to sell something and then emphasize there, share more testimonies, wake them up so you can get them what interested. That going on further is boring. Then they're even tired. Osheged. Are you together? Very good. Voice and expression. Speak clearly and what? Confidently. Clearly and confidently. When I'm speaking to audiences, I don't know whether a time will come and I do a full lecture in English, mostly when I am in Uganda. In Zambia it happens, and I don't know how it happens. But even I've just gone to those countries, still there are times I forget that I chip in one line of Uganda. But you know why I do that? You know why I do that sometimes? Sometimes there is a message I want to pass, and I realize that the English words I have for that message are going to go through my mouth first because the name ani ndimwe kunanagira kutonotono so chiri bana echiri mi mwechiri kitonotono mwechiri. I know some of you don't know yourselves, so I know that this statement will pass. So I re-echo the statement in another language to see if I can get better choice of words. I don't know if you have realized every time I'm closing, that's what I do. Control your pace, not too fast and not too slow. When you're too slow, you become sluggish. When you're too fast, people don't hear you. Who remembers Madame Farida, the time she was just beginning? She had just begun sharing her story. That time, her first recognition of, who remembers? Mr. Hassan, you remember? She was so fast that she could do a speech of 20 minutes in 5 minutes, and no one has understood anything because her tongue is as fast as mine. But now she has trained herself to pace down, put commas, and what? Punctuation marks. You get the point? That's what we call mastering yourself. You get the point? Very important in the presentation. We're doing one presentation. You pause a little and show points of emphasis. Because when you do it when you don't put those kinds of voice tonations, what happens is the whole message looks the same. We don't know when you were suffering. You don't know when you did what. Or when you were winning, we don't know because everything is flat. I had a landlord of mine, and every time I could come back home, he could lock me outside. I was staying hungry, and my children also facing the same problem. But again, eventually, when I saw OQATA Wellness Solutions, everything about me has done what? I said, it's a flat thing. It's not even communicating at all. Okay? Can you imagine going back home and realize that the landlord had locked the house, and I had to spend that night outside. Now you are with your children. They're looking at you for hope, but you're also hopeless. Communication. Vary your tone to keep the interest. Pause to emphasize the key points. Very important. Avoid what? Monotone delivery. What is monotone delivery? Pardon? Yes, that is the right answer. Speak louder. Meaning speak louder. So much of repetition of the same thing. They have done more of repetition over the same what? Thing over the all over, over and over again. Repetition. How do you avoid repetition? Is by getting case studies, examples, and stories. You can give us a scenario of how you did so. How you did so. Or you can give us a what? A quote. Or you can give us a story to mean the same what? Mean the same thing. That is why we read these stories. That is why we read so much parables. That is why we are interested in having information, because you may never know when you may need what you're reading. Very, very important in your presentation. Summary. as we finish. 1, it's saying good posture reflects confidence and professionalism that we said already. Positive body language builds trust. You are sure what you're saying. You are confident. You know what you are saying. You have to have the kind of body language that commands your audience or commands your prospects. This guy is sure. But again, there is one they invite to stage, and then whether their appearance, their composure on stage, the person gets a feeling like, this is one of the big dogs on this what? In this kind of hall. You have to be the kind of person to give that stage a kind of what? A message. You get the point? Body language. Hello? And then, the someone is speaking like, and then they are saying, how can you be standing like this and speaking? What's that? Eye contact and gestures enhance connection, very important. We're also saying your tone of the voice reinforces your message. Tone of the voice. And those trainings are there. On TikTok, where you're getting people from. Take on a public speaking class. Take on a presentation class. They are there. I have about 2 guys I am following right now. Talking about public speaking. So that every single time you get better with yourself. Because eventually, you will not do away with these things. Because if it's a career that you have chosen, Mr. Haruna, if you have chosen this kind of career, no, I'm going to be a networker, then you must see growth in your network marketing what? Career. You as a networker, if your fellow banker, guy, they are becoming a bank manager very soon. That is growth in the career. 10 years ago, right now, I now block of 2 blocks of a nursery school. Not so. That is growth in the career. That means you as a networker, one day, you will lead your own team. One day, you'll open your own training center. One day, you'll have a team following you. But before that one day comes, these are things you have to rectify and equip yourself with before that time does what? Comes. Confidence influences someone's decision making. Abantu abakola presentation nga omuntu byayogera bikakasa nnyo. The guest stops to think that joining they're helping you. When I'm sharing my story, I know how to keep my audience interested. And they're still interested in what I'm saying, but again, I am commanding them on the line of what direction I want them to take. You get the point? Something like that. Because of confidence. Your posture can determine the success of your what? Your presentation. That is no doubt. So posture and presentation is very, very what? Important. When you're doing one-on-one, you have to remember you are a representative of the company. Go check the company. Whatever you have not said does not exist. Whatever you have said is all that there is. You get the point? So speak like the information you have is adequate. What? Adequate enough. Are we together? And that's of our responsibility. We said what is going to make what. Wanji? We said what is going to help us win big as a company? Pardon? Creating a rapport to the prospects, yes. Because what is going to win us? That is what was one of them, yes. Very good. The number of eyeballs we get to see the what? The presentation every day. Number of eyeballs. And how are we going to win this? By learning how to do what? To do presentations on ourselves, and of course, if you want to do presentations, it's going to send you to go and prospect more people, make more appointments. Yes, one-on-ones happen at 4 here or at Piato. They happen at 4 here or at Papyrus. A bottle of soda is 3,000. Get the point? They happen here or where? Or in the boardroom, or at City Walk. They happen every day. As people waiting to catch traffic. Abasajja umanya abagagga balinda jamu akedere bava mu kibuga sawa nga 3 manche bakola babela wali bagulu ku smokies banya bia katomwe mu program emujja ku bia omusinga nokole ki show them the business, show them the one-on-one, that bag of tools. People leave their stuff in those things, in those. Antafumanga malaya. Na yingira let me up it off. Twamaliza the night training.